Besides that. Okay, good evening and welcome to the Town of Eastchester Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for June. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. We begin our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, while everyone's getting seated and organized, I'd like to go over the ground rules at this time. First item is that we observe and are governed by Robert's Rules of Parliamentary Order. It's a lengthy book of rules, so I'll just summarize it very quickly. Action is taken by board resolution, motion, resolution, and a vote. And when the public or an applicant is going to address the board, usually by recognition of the chair. Also, no new correspondence is accepted after the close of the public hearing. I mention this at every meeting because prior to COVID, there was an application, there would be documents, people would come in and speak, and that would be the end of it. But during COVID, it was done virtually. People would call in, we'd get emails, and we'd get letters, and those are part of the record. We still accept emails and letters. They do become part of the record. They're part of the record if anything came in now. But once we strike down and close the public hearing, we do not accept commentary. It's not legal to accept commentary from the public after the public hearing has been closed. So just for that. Now, also we have a 5-member board tonight, and there are a couple of matters where a couple of board members will not be voting on. There are 2 applications tonight that are marked adjourned on consent. That's application 25-21, that's the Greystone Circle application, and 24-35, that's the Old Woodmont Road application. They're not being heard tonight. The board's July meeting has been canceled, and the public hearing on those applications are also adjourned to the board's next meeting, which is September 9, 2025. At this time, I also make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 13th, 2025 meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kalen, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, except for Billy. I'm sorry, Mr. Conway, I called you Billy.
All right.
Sorry about that. We're friends, but right now, not right now, we're formal. Okay, just to mention to the public, the copies of the resolutions that are being considered tonight have been left in the back of the room and have been posted on the town's website as part of the materials for tonight's meeting. Okay. First item on the resolution calendar, this is 21-17. This is 15 Tuckahoe Avenue subdivision. I make a motion to grant the requested variances for this application, 21-17, 15 Tuckahoe Avenue subdivision, for the reasons explained in the resolution, prepared in the meeting, and subject to the conditions listed in the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cahalan to the vote. Mr. Cahalan?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
I vote yes. That application's been approved 5-0. Second item on the resolution calendar, this is 25-25 9 Park Avenue. I make a motion to grant the requested variance for application number 25-25 9 Park Avenue for the reasons explained in the resolution prepared for this meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cahalan to the vote. Mr. Cahalan?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
I vote yes. That application's been approved 5-0. This application and the next application, I am required to recuse myself.
Which one are we doing next?
I'm sorry, Mr. Miller. The next one is the Main Street, and then the one after that is water. So,
I'll recuse myself after water.
so yes, I'm sorry. Procedurally, I'm recusing myself for the next 2 resolutions for reasons that have been already put on the record. Mr. Callen will chair those 2, and Mr. Miller will be recusing himself for the final. Thank you.
Okay, so the first resolution to consider is for application 23-30, 249 Main Street and 27 New Street. A resolution has been prepared for this application. There was one minor change to the version posted on the website, just to add some additional materials submitted by the applicant traffic engineer to Schedule A. This is a 2-part resolution. There are 7 variances that were requested, and what was drafted was a resolution of approval for 5 of those variances, and denial for 2 of the variances. They're designated by numbers, so the resolutions will match the numbers in, the motions will match the numbers in the, in the resolution.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I make a motion to grant variances 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 as indicated in the resolution prepared for this meeting for application 2330, 249 Main Street and 27 New Street, for the reasons explained in the resolutions prepared for this meeting and subject to the conditions listed in the resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Conway, we'll go to the vote. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
That resolution, and I'm going to vote yes, that's approved 4-0. Second resolution is, I make a motion to deny variances 1 and 6 as indicated in the resolution prepared for this meeting for application 2330, 249 Main Street and 27 New Street for the reasons explained in the resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Weber, to the vote. Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 3-1. Okay, Mr. Miller, are you going to recuse yourself?
recusing myself.
Okay.
Okay, and then I just wanted to note something for this application. So 2 members have recused themselves. Mr. Conway was not here. Just wanted to make sure that everybody feels like they have enough information to proceed with this resolution, given that only 3 members are participating.
Yeah, I can confirm, even though I didn't attend the last meeting, I watched a replay of the meeting and have reviewed the materials. I feel like I can vote on this one.
Sounds good. Okay, so this is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's 24-25, 34 Water Street, and 1 and 3 Rogliano Way subdivision.
Okay. So, I make a motion to grant the requested variances for application 2425, 34 Water Street, and 13 Rogliano Way subdivision for the reasons explained in the resolution prepared for this meeting and subject to the conditions listed in the resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Conway, to the vote. Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that is approved 3-0.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're on to new business now. And before I call the first matter, under Robert's rules, the way we operate with our new business items, that the applicant will come up and give, of course, state your name and address for the record and give us a summary of what your application's about. I advise applicants not to sit and read the whole application. The application marks submitted, it's a public record. The board members have reviewed them thoroughly, and many of the board members have also visited the site. I don't want to persuade or dissuade you. If you want to read it, you can. It's not going to help, it's not going to hurt. You do what you like, but I think it's better to give us just a synopsis of what your application is. And then after that, the board has an opportunity to ask questions or make comments. There will probably be a motion for the public to be heard, and the public will be heard, and then the applicant would have an opportunity to reply. And then the board would have an opportunity to make comments, and that's what goes from there, unless there's a resolution to do something other than hear it for a decision. So having said all of that, we're on to the first item of new business, and this is 72 Lockwood Avenue. If the applicant would like to come forward, give us your name and address for the record, and proceed. Yes, please. And if you don't mind, speak into the microphone, because everything's captured by voice, and then the stenographer has to take down the minutes.
I think I could project my voice good enough.
Sounds like you can, but
It's my Army background. Welcome. Thank you for looking at this variance request. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the owner of 72 Lockwood Avenue, along with my wife. We recently moved there in August of last year. And we put up a 6-foot fence along the side of the house, in between our house and the neighbor's house, and tied into his 4-foot fence. Problem is, he has a 2-foot retaining wall, so our property sits a lot lower, well, 2 feet lower. If we were to put a 4-foot fence up, it would have been only a 2-foot fence on his side. And we have 3 dogs, and 2 of the dogs like to jump. And they have little girls. We were afraid that they were gonna come over the fence or trip or fall or something like that. So we put a 6-foot fence up instead of the prescribed 4-foot fence. So I'm seeking a variance to allow the 6-foot fence to stay in place rather than taking it down to a 4-foot fence. And all this happened before I met the crew over at the building department, trying to get moved in and getting the dogs squared away and everything like that, so.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. At this point, the board will be given an opportunity to ask questions, make comments. Mr. Cahalan?
I'm going to not say anything.
At this moment, okay. Mr. Miller, anything?
No questions. Do you have any photos or anything you want to show? Do you have any photographs or anything you want to show? Like put 'em
Photos
up?
are in the packet?
No, we've seen them, but I'm saying, do you want to put them up or something?
Oh, no, I wasn't aware that there were more
Thought you
photos.
might want to put them on the board so everybody can see.
You wouldn't be able to see them on 8x10. I would have blown them all up.
No, I've seen 'em.
Okay.
Okay, I've seen them.
You can't see the fence, well,
Go there.
the way the property is located, the pictures that were depicted in the packet, you blink and you drive by, you won't be able to see the fence. Everything's leveled with their 4-foot fence. It's aesthetically pleasing. You know, it's in good taste with the neighborhood. So
Why don't we
Yes.
put up a couple of the photos?
Yeah, I think it
and
would
then we
be-
could zoom the camera so they'll get projected on the
I
screen.
think it'd be a good idea.
oh, that's high speed.
Eastchester's a full-service town. See this?
There you go.
Okay, so our videographer will zoom in, so you can go back to the podium, and
Yeah.
the public, as I had mentioned earlier, the board has seen these photos, the full submission, and in addition, some of the board members have probably gone by or gone into the yard. So, hold on, we're still waiting. Thank you. Okay, so as I had said earlier, these photos are all part of the public record. Everyone who wanted to had an opportunity from the public to see this. There we go.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Do you have anything else?
No, maybe you want to explain some of the photographs, what they are?
Thank you. That's where I'm at.
Oh, would you mind
Wanna
just
take
speaking
the
into
microphone if you don't mind?
Take the microphone.
Yes, please, so they can pick up what you're saying. It's not for us, it's for the stenographer.
All right. I feel like I'm doing karaoke.
No singing, no
No
singing, just
singing.
presentation.
Don't tempt me. Okay, so this is, just so you know what you're looking at here, this is behind the property line of the house on the south, wait a minute, let me think. On the north side of the house. This is a separate fence. This is our back fence that I had replaced. I had to replace it because it was a rickety lattice fence that was going to break and the dogs were going to get at each other. This is the fence in question right now. That's actually, it doesn't look that tall, but it's 6 feet. This is the retaining wall along the south side. That's 2 feet. And if you look at this picture here, that's my neighbor, Jason and Christina, their 4-foot fence that's behind their property. And the 6-foot fence lines up with their 4-foot fence. In fact, Jason allowed us to tie into his fence so it could all look the same and be secured. This is from inside of our property. So from this point here forward is 6 feet. And this is his 4-foot fence that's sitting on top of his 2-foot retaining wall. So it looks fairly straight, fairly even, as you could tell from the photographs. And at this point here, if we were to go 4 feet, it would only be a 2-foot section of fence on their side of the property, which is where they have a doorway that they use, and they go back there, the girls go back there for, for their backyard. Their garbage cans are there. So a 2-foot, basically a 2-foot fence, I would believe would cause a hazard, tripping hazard possibly, or, so that's it, we're trying to
Okay,
fix it up.
thank you for the description of the photos. Mr. Conway, anything?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Weber, anything at this time?
No questions.
Okay, I don't have anything at this moment, but I'll make a motion to open the public hearing on this matter. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kalin, all in favor?
Aye.
Would anyone from the public like to be heard on this application? Okay, seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public hearing on this matter. Is there a second?
Second that,
Mr.
too.
Kalin, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, back to the board for questions or comments. Mr. Cahalan?
All right, I mean, I just can't let this go by. So, you moved in, you didn't check the law, you put up the fence, and now you're asking for forgiveness because it's illegal. You have a topography there where your neighbor decided to put up a 2-foot retaining wall with a 4-foot fence, which is legal, which I hope the town board addresses because it's becoming a bigger issue in the town. But that aside, your explanation, except for the aesthetic, really doesn't hold any water for me. Dogs are not jumping over that 4-foot fence. They're just not doing it, you know. And even to have it, the fences are alike, from what I saw, to have one that's 2 feet higher, you know, there's no reason that you needed 6 feet except that you wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing. And then I'm surprised you just told us that you put a new fence in the back, but you didn't tie the 6-foot fence that you put up on the side to the back. You put in a picket fence instead of a vinyl fence like that. So, you know, I just get, it's not believable. You know, people come here all the time, and I think they take us for idiots because you put up the fence because you wanted to put up the fence. Then somebody complained, or you wanted to do the right thing to sell the house again, or whatever, and you're here asking for forgiveness. And, you know, if we were to say, take the fence down, would you do it? Probably not, because it's very expensive to put up a fence. But we have that right. So, you know, those are my comments.
If I may?
No, you may not.
Mr. Miller, anything?
Nope.
Mr. Conway?
No.
Mr. Weber?
No.
Okay. For me, I don't see it out of character with the neighborhood. I understand Mr. Cahalan's point about precedential value. You know, I look at the application on the 4 corners and how it's applied and how it looks as far as the whether it's a detriment to the neighborhood, et cetera. For me, I think you've met the 4-part test, a 5-part test. That's just my opinion. So I have nothing else really other than to make a motion to adjourn this matter for resolution at the next meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Cahalan? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for
Thank you
your
very much.
presentation. Okay, we have one item left on the new business, and that is 24-34, 155 Montgomery Avenue. You can, applicant, come forward, name and address for the record, and please proceed.
Okay. Good evening. My name is John Yanacito. I'm an architect, and I'm representing Mr. Chris Perzan, the owner of the subject property, who's with me this evening. We are requesting approval for the legalization of an existing side yard driveway at 155 Montgomery Avenue, and the driveway is highlighted in yellow on the site plan. The subject property is located in an RTD zone and is currently developed as a 2-family residence. Prior to the construction of the driveway, the existing residence was non-conforming with respect to this off-street parking requirement, where 4 parking spaces are required for the 2-family house and 2 were provided within the garage. The existing side yard driveway was constructed without the proper permits, and although it provides the additional required off-street parking, it does not comply with other specific requirements for a 2-family residence within a RTD zone. So RTD zone has one set of requirements, but if it's a 1 or 2 family home, it has to follow the zoning requirements for a 1 and 2 family zoning. For that reason, we're requesting 2 area variances. The first is for the number of driveways. Driveways for a 2-family residence are limited to 1 driveway and 1 curb cut. This property will have 2 driveways and 2 curb cuts. And the second variance is for the driveway setback to the side property line, where driveways for a 2-family residence require a 3-foot setback off the side yard property line. And this driveway has a side yard setback of 0. It's built right on the property line. A majority of the neighboring properties are developed as either multifamily or commercial properties or commercial uses, where the number of curb cuts and the number of driveways is permitted. Multi curb cuts and multi driveways are permitted. So this house will be similar to most of the other homes, or most of the other properties within the RTD zone. Also, the existing driveway was constructed with pervious pavers, which did not increase the amount of runoff off the site. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sure, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Yanacito. At this time, I usually reserve time for the board first to ask questions or comments, but I'd like to start on this because on an application of this nature, and anyone can make a variance application at any time. It's everyone's right. You know, we often hear people come here in the public and they will say, well, I'm okay with it as long as they stay within the law. Every homeowner, every property owner has a right to ask for any variance of any kind. But I want to start off with the fact that we have an absolute prohibition against 1 and 2 family driveways in our code. Actually, I brought the site down, 13E4, and you've appeared before this board frequently. We are very concerned about the precedential value of widening curb cuts, and particularly giving 2 curb cuts. And we've been pretty consistent. In like the Lake Isle area or the California Road area where there's no street parking, we've been fairly, for lack of a better term, liberal for that. But Eastchester is a very mature community, and we have a lot of areas where even widening a curb cut by 2 or 3 feet could really hurt parking. So before I even go to the board, what can you tell me that is compelling, that can convince me that this wouldn't set an awful precedent in this town?
Well, I think the number one factor is that it's not in a 1 or 2 family zone. It's in an RTD zone, which is a multifamily zone,
right,
where the multifamily zones are not restricted. They can have multiple driveways, multiple curb cuts, unrestricted coverage, no setbacks to driveways. So this house is inside the RTD zone. I understand if setting a precedent of a house being located inside a 1 and 2 family zone and having 2 driveways would create a precedent that's not going to be good for the residential areas. But when you look at this area, you look right across the street, it's nothing but head-on parking against the property lines. Multiple commercial properties across the street. Right next door is multifamily residences or townhomes, all 3-family attached, semi-attached homes that have no setbacks to the driveway right along this property. The property right next door has a 0 setback to their driveway and their parking lot, which wraps around the entire back of the property, and then there's a second driveway at the other end. Actually, there might be multiple driveways in between also. So there's a lot of curb cuts as you look down that street on Montgomery. And even on the side street, there's a lot of head-on parking. And as you go down the road, there's 2-family and 3-family homes with very wide driveways. Unrestricted coverage because they're considered multifamily instead of just 1 and 2 family homes.
So to summarize, I think what you're saying to me is that despite the fact that it's not consistent with the use of this property, that because the area is a hodgepodge of different uses, that it's consistent with the area?
I think it is because that lot is actually in an RTD zone.
Okay.
That zone stops.
I'm sorry.
That zone stops right at the corner there. So if he would add 1 more apartment to that house, he can have the 2 driveways.
Okay. I'm going to turn it over to the board for questions and comments. I just wanted you to flesh that out for me. Mr. Cahalan, please proceed.
So when the house was built, because that area was redeveloped 15, 20 years ago, it used to flood out and, that development was done all at the same time, right? So why didn't they put an extra curb cut in there? They built it so that they could get it approved with one driveway. Now you're coming back saying, well, because it's in a multifamily use area, it's okay to have 2 curb cuts, because that's okay where everybody else is, but not this house, correct?
Well, I think the RTD zone might have been created for that.
It was
development.
created for this alone, but
That
that's
development.
my point.
Okay, hold
If it
on,
was-
if you both can let each other talk, because
Right, so it was
the
created-
stenographer's not going to be able to get
It
it.
was
Go ahead.
created for that development, and they included this lot in that RTD zone.
But they only built one driveway.
But
when
that
they
house
could've
was
built-
there already.
Not this house?
Yes, it was. This house was built a long time ago. This house was built 100 years ago.
Okay,
This was part of the main property there before they subdivided it.
okay,
So this house has been there a very long time.
all right.
And if you look at some old photos of this lot, aerial shots, they used to park on the grass in that area because that house has always been a 2-family home. And two parking, you can park in the driveway, but the back of your car sticks out into
Sticks
the middle
out.
of the street because the
So-
driveway is not that deep.
So this was basically created because it's a 2-family and they needed additional parking.
Correct.
That's it?
Thank you, Mr. Cahalan. Mr. Miller?
No question.
Mr. Conway?
No questions for me.
Mr. Weber?
No questions.
I don't have anything further. I make a motion to open the public hearing on this matter. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cahalan, all in favor? Aye. Would anyone from the public like to be heard on this application? Okay, seeing nobody, I'll make a motion to
Wait,
close.
before you close the public hearing, I just wanted to mention that we did send this application to the Highway Department to review.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They did not have any substantive comments other than to say that if the variance is granted, a driveway permit from their department should be retroactively filed and processed.
Okay. So to summarize, if it were to be approved, the approval would also have to come from the Department of Highways for that curb cut.
Right, after any variance is granted, they'd have to apply to the Highway Department to get a driveway permit.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, aging means that I forgot, did I make the motion to close the public hearing?
I
No,
stopped
not
you.
yet.
Okay, so I make a motion to close the public hearing in this matter. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cahalan, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, back to the board. Any questions or comments, Mr. Cahalan?
Said my piece.
Okay, Mr. Miller?
None?
Mr. Conway?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Weber?
Nothing.
I stand on with the comments I made, so I think I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this application for resolution at the next board meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cahalan, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
presentation and
Enjoy the summer.
time. Best to you,
Thanks,
to be honest with you and your family. Okay, I've got a couple of more items. One is that I'm making a motion to adjourn this meeting and to our next meeting, which is Tuesday, September 9th. Is there a second to my motion?
Absolutely second that.
Mr. Cahalan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And my second item is that I wish everyone a great summer. And thank you for the board members, Ms. Wolfson, and the board members for their service.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.